Joining us now to discuss is Director for the American Center for Education and Knowledge, Bruce Abramson. Bruce, I welcome you to further define or further delineate how you see it, because it seems we were having this conversation in the break. How do you define critical race theory? It seems as though those who are supporters define it a very different way than those who oppose it.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be back. And you're absolutely right. One of the things that I've written about it extensively in my book, is that we no longer speak the same language in this country. The people pushing critical race theory are racists. Now, let me define the term. Racism is distinguishing by race, mapping people, putting people into boxes by race, and then applying different rules and requirements and expectations to people in the different boxes. That is what they do. People teaching critical race theory are teaching your children to be racist.
I wanted to ask you, actually, that lends itself to a part of this recent article that you wrote where you said, if you want to identify the greatest internal threat facing America, look past white supremacists to the critical race theorists who created them. Could you further explain that? Absolutely.
What critical race theory is doing, and what all it is, I mean, they've got some very nice sounding words. But what they're doing is they're going into classrooms, they've been in colleges, they're going into elementary schools now, and they're teaching children, be completely aware of race. Race is the most important thing. Whatever you do, pay attention to race. Understand that people of different races follow different rules, have different expectations, should be treated differently. This is how we want you to do it. This is what they're teaching. So they are heightening race consciousness. Then they're saying, a group of you out there, we're going to call white people. Now, I got to tell you, until 10 years ago, I never met anybody who identified as a white person. Maybe they were out there. I never met one. We're identifying you as white people. Well, if you want to know what creates white supremacism, it's telling people that they are a group called white people and that they are in competition with all the other racial groups. Critical race theory is creating white supremacists.
One of the things I notice about it is that there's an assumption that the system is racist. And even people of color who do advance in that system are somehow advantaged to do that by white people for their own benefit. So, correct me if I'm wrong on that. And I was kind of curious, what then would they find acceptable?
Well, you have to understand, this whole notion out there is a classic conspiracy theory. Now, how do you know when you're looking at a conspiracy theory? The answer is any evidence that anybody brings that looks on its face like it runs counter to the theory is taken as support for the theory. So, for example, if you come forward and say, well, look, Barack Obama was elected our first black president immediately following Colin Powell and Condi Rice as two black secretaries of state, you would think that that would run counter to the idea that the system is biased against black people. But no, because it's a conspiracy theory, those are the counterexamples that were put up there. The only reason that we had these people in power was so that we could point to them. This is conspiracy theoretic thinking.
It's interesting, following President Biden's State of the Union address, we had Senator Tim Scott come out and call for a colorblind America and for all of us to come together. And then you can kind of take a look at what has been happening specifically under the Biden administration and years leading up to that, where we are more conscious repeatedly of race when it comes to just about everything in this country. How do you put the two views together, and which is better?
Obviously, Tim Scott's is better. I mean, Tim Scott's is the American view. These people, the critical race theorists, they are the heirs to the Ku Klux Klan. I mean, there is a long tradition of supremacist thinking in America. It's terrible. We've transcended it. We've gone beyond it. We've buried it. But you know what? There are a lot of race drifters out there who make a lot of money fomenting racial division. And that's what we've been seeing really over the past 10 to 15 years. It's gone through the stratosphere. Tim Scott has it exactly right. And what's more, anybody who cares about the welfare of minorities in this country understands that the way that you move forward is to downplay race consciousness. The people heightening race consciousness are the biggest enemies of minority advancement in this country. They are racist.
All right. Very interesting conversation. Thank you very much, Bruce Abramson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.